So I'm thinking, what can I talk about for 20 minutes that will change how you view your life and the lives around you? What's the one thing that I can talk about? Of course, you're at church, so it's going to be about Jesus, but what about Jesus can I talk about? And one word came to mind, hope. Hope. Christ brings so much hope to your life. So I own a business, and I travel a lot for this business. And I drove to Dallas. I'm in Dallas. I'm staying at a strange hotel that I've never stayed at before. I ate the normal food I normally eat, but that morning, I was sick. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning just, I'm fine, I'll be fine. So I was wide awake, trying not to throw up. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to try to go to sleep. I'm just going to take a shower and get ready for my day. So I take a shower, and I leave 45 minutes earlier than I normally would, taking a totally different route than I normally would. So the hotel I stayed at, let me tell you, hotel I stayed at was haunted. It was absolutely haunted. There was a weird window thing at the bottom of the floor. Like it was halfway open where I could hear the people below me. And they're all like, they're just listening to this Tejano music. And I was just like, man, that's nice. I don't know what to say, that's so nice. That was so nice. So that kept me up, you know? And so I'm thinking, I'm never staying at this place again. I'm sick, I'm up, and I'm leaving early. So I take off, get my truck, and we're driving around. And like I said, I go a different way than I normally wouldn't go. And as we pass by, I see these two dudes leaning over this girl. I mean, like aggressively, you know, to enough where I'm driving and their hand is on this girl, right? And so I do a U-turn and I go and I park right next to them. And since I park there, they relax. They're like, all right. One sits on one side, another guy sits on the other side, and there's this girl. And so I don't want to just jump out. I could have misread the situation, so I just take a minute. All of a sudden, this girl throws her arms up and falls down to the ground. Starts twisting her body left and right. She's flipping and flopping all over the place. And so I jump out of the truck because she's just about to roll over into the street. She lands on her back. I'm not kidding, this is gross. She throws up into the air and it comes right back and lands back on her face. It was gross. And so as I'm about to reach up, the vomit comes out and I'm like, oh, nope, I gotta help her. So I keep her from rolling out and then I look at it and I'm so sorry this is gross, but it's necessary for the story, okay? So the vomit in her mouth disappears. She inhaled it. She was like, and all of a sudden, everything that she just out, she's now breathing. Stopped her from breathing. She's turning bright blue. I'm holding her like this, okay? So that she, on her side, so she don't keep going in and out. She's turning bright blue. She stops breathing. Her eyes start to glaze over. And I'm kneeling on her like this so she doesn't roll out in the street. Now, let me take a second real quick. All of a sudden, I started thinking, I'm about to have to do CPR on this girl. Mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. And she has vomit all over her face. I'm just thinking, how can I get through this without doing that on her? I'm like, so luckily, there's a lady who came down from her apartment, walked down and was like, yeah, don't do mouth to mouth. I was like, yeah, it's good. She's like, I'm a nurse. Okay, good, you're a nurse. Or she used to be a nurse or something. She told me not to do it, so I didn't do it. I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. So I'm holding her on her side. She turns bright blue, stops breathing. Her heart stops pumping. Her pulse gone. Her eyes are glazed over. A cop somewhere in the mix walks up, puts his hand on my shoulder and says, she's gone. The paramedics are on their way. Kind of like, let it go, man. And I start thinking, there's no way. There's no way I'm just going to let this happen right now. So I started praying. I started looking at the situation. I started looking at the cop, who's no help whatsoever. Now you have to understand, I back the blue. I love the cops. This guy is so used to this stuff happening on his beat that another girl dying was just another Tuesday. So I'm holding her and I'm praying. And so you can't roll on her back just in case this stuff goes back into her lungs. So I start pumping her chest like this. And she throws up more. She takes this huge gasp breath. Her eyes start to come back to focus. Her color comes back to her cheeks. And right then, the paramedics pull up. The girl was dead. Now, what does this have to do with hope? God interrupted my day by making me have a horrible night to make sure that I went a totally different route so that I would show up at the exact right time so that whenever this happened to her, she would get a second chance. Her boyfriend that was there also high out of his mind, and his friend that was there, the boyfriend just kind of walked and watched it happen. Didn't help, didn't do anything, just kind of watched. Maybe he's shocked and he couldn't do it, fine. But the friend sat on the bench that she rolled off of, laughed the entire time. Even when the police officer said she was gone. It was a joke to him. Understandably, the man is high. Not in his right mind, so you can't really hold it against him. But at the same time, you look at the situation that she's in, that you as a group got put in together, and that she is now suffering the consequences that as a group, they all partook. Ambulance takes her away. The guy wants to go with them, but instead the cop detains him to make sure that he's no longer in the picture, which is really good. Turns out the girl is probably 16, 17 years old. Her name is Millie. Every time I go to Dallas now, I look for her. How do these two stories relate? God's picking the perfect time to restore hope in this world, which was the birth of Jesus. But here's the thing. Hope changes everything without anything changing. It gives birth to change and chance. It gives you a second chance to do things. It gives you a second, third, fourth chance to make something of your life that God's already designed you to be. Talking about the birth of Jesus, I've heard it 1,000 times. What in your life is Herod chasing down to kill that hope? What is Herod in your life? What relationship is suffocating hope in your life? What thought process are you chasing down day after day? I want to be famous. I want to get all these likes. I want to be with this guy. I want to be with this girl. Man, these people would just shut up. I could do better. What relationships, what have you designed of your life that keeps Herod in power? Where is your hope being birthed?